Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. We're live. It's 11 o'clock. I'm laid in bed. It's a bit like the Patrick Bamford situation the other day, although that was in the middle of the day. I was a tired boy. Thought I would have myself a nice little nap. And then I thought, do you know what? Let's react to Patrick Bamford live. Now, people might think this is a bit of an over-exaggeration. This is just Dan James, you know. We're going to have a chat about it. But it's been tweeted out by Adam Crafton from The Athletic. I will share the article with you in just a second. Just Joe After Dark says Matt Sweeby. Yeah, certainly, mate. We're going to wait for some people to come in and join us in the room. Please do share it. Please do share it. Let's see if we can get some more people come and join us. Like I say, let's chat. Let's chat Dan James. I want to get what everyone's thoughts are, really. Because I feel like there's a lot of... I put a tweet out and there's a lot of people don't want this to happen because he plays for Manchester United. Now, I understand where he is coming from in that respect, but this isn't Ryan Giggs. This isn't Wayne Rooney. This isn't Rio Ferdinand. This isn't, I don't know, Paul Scholes, you know. These are play. This is... Dan James has been there, what? A season? And he went there like we'll go into it. We're going to go into it into more detail. I'm going to stick a poll on the chat because I see a lot of people on Twitter, especially. I mean, not that is the sometimes you can get bogged into this situation where you think the general consensus is what's on Twitter, and it's not. It's a small minority in comparison to the rest of the universe and in comparison to the rest of the Leeds United fan base. We'll chat about it in some more detail. We're going to go through Adam Crafton's article in just a second. I'll share that with you from The Athletic. Kagey, my main man, has just WhatsApped me. Maybe he's about, maybe he wants to have some chat. Yeah, man, Kagey, if you want to jump on, brother. Let's chat. I'm going to send you the invite now. He says you weren't joking. Do you want me to jump on? I said, nah, of course I wasn't joking. These are the moments when you've got to go live so you can have a chat. You can have a chat. I'm gonna get Kagey in as well because Kagey's where I'm at, I think. But we'll go through the article. We'll have a chat and see where everyone's at. I've put a poll in the chat as well. Just 1 second while my phone's connecting on my Mac so that I can send him the link. There we go, Kagey. That's been sent over now. Kagey can come in, kgvision, get in, and we'll have a little chat about everything. There we go. Yeah, so everyone keep getting your comments in. I'll go through as many as I can. Where your head's at with this Dan James situation? Would you take him? Wouldn't you? Etc. Etc. I want to hear what people have to say on it. Obviously, Twitter, like I say, my notifications have gone mad because I've tweeted a picture of Dan James saying, "Yo, you know it makes sense." I've even got, listen, I can't lie. I've even slid into Dan James's DMs to see if Dan James is saying, "Listen, you know it makes sense. You know it makes sense." But Man United, I said this today, that Man United are willing to listen to offers for Dan James. And I said just 2 days ago, I even was on Phil Hayes' Q&A. Phil Hayes' response was, "Look, Joe, he's a massive fan. You know this." Let me see if I can get that up as well. From Phil Hayes. Bear with us 1 second. I'll go to the discussion. That's probably going to open up on another window there. Let me just let me get that opened up on there. Reload. My connection was interrupted, apparently. I don't know why it's doing that. There we go. That was from me, so we'll save that as well in just a second. Keep your comments coming in. Get people involved in the chat as well if they want to come and join us. Make sure they do. That'd be good. Yeah, exactly. Come get involved in the chat. Stits, come get involved in the chat. I'm going to get to all your comments as well, guys. I'm just going to wait for Kagey to pop over. Looks like my Wi-Fi connection might have gone sketchy, so just stick with it for a second while it sorts itself out. It's because I'm on multiple devices. But just bear with us one sec. We're still waiting for Kagey to drop in. Stick with the Wi-Fi. It will sort itself out. I can assure you of that. Sometimes it likes to just go a bit wild. It's probably because I've got multiple things open. But let me share. I'm going to share the article with you now, and we'll take a look at that. So Daddy's put a super chat in. So Daddy, I'll get to that in a second. Just bear with us 1 minute. There's my man. So Daddy said, I'd take him at West Ham as backup for Bowen. Yeah, I bet, man. I bet. But let's get to the article itself. Just bear with us 1 minute, and I'm going to share the article with you now, guys. Hopefully that Wi-Fi is going to sort itself out. There you go. So this is the article from earlier on. So Man United, this was at 9:53. Man United to listen to offers for Dan James. Leeds are among the interested clubs. Of course we are. Of course we are. It says Manchester United are ready to listen to offers for Dan James ahead of the end of the transfer window. The Athletic understands that a number of Premier League teams have been made aware that United are open to approaches, which we knew, right? We knew this was going to be the case. I know a lot of people got it twisted and said, oh, but he started for Manchester United. Listen, that was putting him in the shop window. That was a needs must. Rashford's still coming back. Ronaldo not there yet. But Ronaldo's going to be playing. Rashford's going to be playing. Martial's going to be playing. He came on the bench. You've got Greenwood, who's one of the best finishers at their football club. Dan James isn't going to get a look in, is he? So it says Leeds previously came within a whisker of signing James from Swansea, which we all know about, in January 2019, when the player had completed a medical, only for the deal to fall through on deadline. It is believed that Leeds manager Marcelo Bielsa remains an admirer of the Welsh winger and would like his club to sign James before Tuesday night's deadline. So that's coming in from... That's coming in there. Hi, Kagey. I'm just going through the article. Can you hear me or see me? I think my Wi-Fi's sketchy as.
Yeah, I can hear and see you. Can you hear me all right, yeah?
Yeah, all good. Yeah. Just going through the article now that was on the Athletic. So where's my mouse gone now? James himself has been determined to fight for his place at Old Trafford, and he started 2 of United's first 3 Premier League games. Obviously now, Martial, you've got Greenwood, you've got Rashford, who's coming back from injury. Ronaldo's coming in the door. You've got Sancho. Even Pogba can play on the left if needs be. So Dan James is not getting a game. It's a bit like the Lingard situation for me. Lingard, as much as he loves Manchester United and loves to dance with his boys, he needs to move on. He needs to get game time. So Leeds, this is what the Leeds stance. Apparently, Leeds are open to a loan move or even a permanent deal for James. He's valued in excess of 20 million. I think that's steep. 15 to 20, though, is probably the going rate, if we're being honest. We'll get Kagey's thoughts. They've been restrained in their spending this summer, only spending on Thorp, but it is understood funds are available to secure a long-term target in James. It is worth noting, however, that when asked about transfers after Leeds' 1-1 draw, Bielsa said no more signings, we're coming in the door. But obviously things have changed. Things have changed. He's been pimped out. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been a pimp. Dan James has been pimped out. Graham Potter's interested, apparently, but it says that Brighton's interest has cooled a little. There was previous interest from Everton, Leicester and Palace. Please don't go to Palace, man. Don't do me dirty like that. Don't be Dan James. Age, what are your thoughts initially, mate? Because I'm excited by it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I said it on my stream earlier after the game that Dan James would be somebody that I think Bielsa can mold into a better player than he is now. You see, at the moment, he really is just like a speed demon right now. He's a pace merchant, but Bielsa obviously sees something in those raw materials he's got in order to refine him, and I think he could do it with him. You know, there's only a few players where I think Bielsa couldn't do much for him because he's not a miracle worker, but I think he could get more out of him. And, you know, you got Man United fans tonight just, tagging me with that very same report saying pay the money, get him out of here and stuff like that. But they're in a different space, aren't they? They're going for the league. They're going for Champions League. So he's not at that level. And we knew that when you transferred to Man United anyway.
Yeah.
So if there is a possibility that we can do it, I would say do it because, as I said earlier, it's not about just getting in players just because. Like, if we was offered a Harry Winks, I would say no. I don't care about our midfield situation. You don't just add somebody for the sake of it. You get somebody that you think can help the squad. And if you've got James, Harrison, Rafinha, and Somerville as your 4 wingers, I think that puts you in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, exactly. I'm with you as well. And do you know what it is as well, KG? Like, I'm a bit of a romantic, and I
I
look at the
know.
yeah, you know this. And I look at the Dan James situation and think he was never supposed to go there. You know, he was always supposed to come to Leeds United. He's from Yorkshire, you know, but in Hull. His dad's a Leeds fan by all accounts. I know his dad's no longer with us. You know, rest in peace. He was supposed to come to Leeds. He was basically there. You know, I've said sorry about my picture as well, guys. If it is a bit fuzzy, the Wi-Fi's down. It's not normally used to being powered up at this time. I think that's what's up with it.
You know what it is, people? Why I'm here is Joe messaged me and said, "Do you want to do a stream now?" It was like 10:30. I thought he was joking, and then I see the things loaded up. I said, "You know what? Let's go."
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. But no, he was always supposed to be here for me, KG. And then a lot of people, like someone's obviously, my Twitter's gone into meltdown because I've tweeted a picture of him in a Leeds shirt. That was always going to be the case. I've had to mute the conversation. I'm not listening anymore. But some people saying, why would you want a scummer, etc. But I was saying just before you came on, this isn't Wayne Rooney. This isn't Rio Ferdinand. This isn't Paul Scholes. This isn't David Beckham, Ryan Giggs. It's Dan James, who's not really played a game. They don't want. He's not really bought into that Man United or cut me, I bleed red crap and all that. He just wants to play football. You know, I don't get that sentiment. Do you?
No, you know me though.
Yeah, of course.
Bro, I'm not into all that sentimental stuff.
No,
if somebody's good enough to play for you and they're willing to play for you, you get them.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. You know, if we was just say we was offered the chance to get Cristiano Ronaldo, we get Ronaldo. Don't matter about this. It's
exactly.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like Harmony says here, last one, she's saying Damsgaard. We're just not in that ballpark right now. Damsgaard's being linked with Champions League clubs and everything else like that. We're playing in a different shopping basket. So when you're talking about somebody with potential like a Dan James, that is more our market right now. Coop Miners has gone, and I know I keep going on about this, guys who listen to me. He's gone for 14 million. That's a defensive midfielder, box-to-box midfielder that would be one of our starters. But he's gone to a Champions League club. So again, it's about what we can get. The only thing for me, and I said it to the Man United fans that were saying just pay the money, is I think we could only do it if we get him on loan with an obligation to buy next summer.
Yeah.
So unless they're going to accept that, and I think they will at this point because they're overloaded in those positions, then it's possible. But as I said to you also, I think there'll be a couple of other clubs looking at him too.
Yeah, that's the thing, innit? I was saying this earlier during the Man United game, actually. I was saying about Dan James and people saying, yeah, but he's playing. I never read too much into that. It didn't mean anything anyway, really. But like you say, they're so stacked in that position. And Manchester United are not in need of cash. Do you know what I mean? They're not in need of cash. I think Leeds United are probably saying to them because they don't want to miss out on the opportunity, regardless of what us fans think. The true guy that brings these players in is Marcelo Bielsa, right? And you know, whether you agree or disagree with him, the buck stops with him, right? And ultimately, this guy loves Dan James.
He does.
Loves Dan James. Clearly sees something in it. I asked Phil the question today on his Athletic Q&A, and he responded to me. And his response was, I'm gonna get it up, but just bear with us one sec. But he said, in effect, Lewis O'Brien, Leeds don't want to meet the valuation. They think, he said, the interest in O'Brien appears to be dead. No sign at all of either side shifting on the valuation. But he says, as for Dan James, let's see. You know Bielsa likes him. And that's the key thing in it. Bielsa likes him. So regardless of what we think, Bielsa's massive on this kid.
Yeah. And that's the thing as well. He's still young enough to be coached right now. And that's just another thing I made earlier as well. He has not been coached under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. No. You know, when you look at Man United's team, they should be contending for the league. But Ali tax is hefty. It's a hefty tax to pay. So that's the reason why. And there's no improvement under that guy. You think about look at all the stuff that Dan James does. If you've ever seen him play, he's very, very quick. But then that's where it ends. It's a bit like St. Maximin at Newcastle, loads of pace and everything else like that, but the final product is a bit iffy. But again, St. Maximin is playing under Steve Bruce. It's so important on who your coach is. It's unbelievable. And if the deal is reasonable, I think 20 is a little bit steep, in all fairness.
Yes, I agree. I do.
Yeah, I think 20 is a little bit high. I think that if Man United were to accept 12 to 15, and that be really staggered in payments, I mean, starting from next summer, I don't see the problem with that deal. I just think it gives us a better option than what we've got right now, and that's the whole point in being in this league, is to improve your positions.
Yeah, definitely. Mott LUFC's put a super chat in. He says, "Top man, Joe, great content, mate. Thank you very much. Dedicated to the cause, ready to go live at the drop of a hat." But this is the thing as well, and I've seen Connor at One Leeds tweet this out. Is there a case maybe as well that Rafinha plays in the 10? And then we have Dan James on the left, Harrison on the right, or vice versa. You know what I mean? There's an option. This is what I'm saying. We're never in. No one's ever quite in the mind of Bielsa, but he's seen something clearly in this guy. Who can forget? I was trying to find the image when he did the Spygate presentation, and there was a little folder on there, Dan James folder. You know what I mean? So I'd love to know what's in that folder, bro, to see what he sees with this kid. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what you can't deny with Bielsa. If he's paid that much attention to detail to Dan James, let him go with it. If the deal is fair, though, I'm not saying overpay for it by any means. No. But if you can get a fair deal for him, Bielsa obviously sees something. If that means moving players around, I don't think it will do us any harm right now anyway, because if you add up the 3 games we've played so far, we haven't been looking like we did last season. No. So a little change won't do any harm. I mean, how many times can we play Rodrigo in centre mid and things like that? And Joe, I made the point earlier. I know we're talking about a winger here, but you know, Radrizzani answered that our new central midfielder is Adam Forshaw. Now, can you imagine Forshaw getting on the pitch today in that Burnley game? He would have needed another hip surgery. It would have been peak for him, innit? It was.
I get that. I do.
And that's what I'm saying. And not at any point did Forshaw get on the pitch today, and we was out Matthias Klick, our actual central midfielder. So again, how ready is Forshaw? Yeah. So it's just a weird one. That's why I'm saying, if the club are acting like, you know, the funds are tight in public, that's fair enough. No club wants to play their hand in public and say, hey, we've got 50 million to spend. I just hope that by the time deadline hits, that we've got in one quality loan signing. That's all I'm hoping for at this moment in time.
Yeah, I think it's clear to me that the club, in an ideal scenario, would have a centre midfielder and they want a winger. And the reason that I say they want a winger for me is because that's always been the noise. That's always been the noise coming out. But it's the fact they let Poveda go out on loan as well. Now, I know Somerville, etc., but he's still not been given an opportunity. He's still not been given an opportunity. There's a reason that is, you know, because we can all see, we're not blind. We can all see Costa's coming on and having zero impact. And Bielsa will see that as well, you know. So I think there was always an option there. And maybe you're right. Maybe Leeds United are being a bit savvy in the media, we don't want to make moves because they know come the end of the window. This was always a thing. I remember Phil Hay mentioned it about it'll all depend on Manchester United's business. It was like the Rangers situation with Kent. Will they get in the Champions League? If they don't get in the Champions League, someone's going to have to go, whether it's Morales, whether it's Kent. These things happen. And maybe Orta has played his hand really, really well, bro, in waiting. I mean, are they hoping that maybe Huddersfield come knocking on deadline day and say, look, we'll take a reduced bid because O'Brien, he's got 1 year left, or some kind of, it's an extension, but then he owns his own right. I don't know. I don't want to go too much into that sort of stuff, but people will come a knocking, you know. We've got Manchester United fans in the chat. They don't want him, mate. They don't want him. I can understand why. I can understand why.
Me too.
Because you've got an embarrassment of riches. That side today was insane. Dan James, how he started, I don't even know, but there you go.
He started for shot window purposes, Joe. That was shot window purposes why he started today.
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. I agree with that. Luke Williamson says, why not use Rodrigo like City uses Jesus now? I don't know, mate. What do you reckon of that, KG?
What, out on the right?
Yeah.
They've moved Jesus more out to the right now, and Ferran Torres is playing more centrally now. So that would mean moving Rafinha, and that's a no for me.
Yeah, no, you can't do that. We've already square pegs in round holes, don't we? For all we know,
We've got too many. We've got
yeah,
too many.
yeah.
It is ridiculous just how many times we rarely ever have a full squad. That's the worst thing as well. As soon as somebody comes back, somebody else or three people go out. You know, we haven't had the benefit of having our full first 11 just yet. I don't think.
No, we haven't. Mott LUFC 1919 says, "Thank my dad, it's his card." No, don't be saying that, bro. Your dad will be checking the bank balance.
Oh
What
my
you been
God.
doing, son?
Who's this Joe Wayman?
Yeah, imagine. Getting the call, I want my money back. I said, what are you on about, man?
Well, YouTube's got 40%, so talk to them.
Yeah, speak to them. Speak to YouTube. That's brilliant.
Man, that's quality, yeah.
Where, like, for me, honestly, I love the fairy tale stuff, yeah. If Dan James was to sign for Leeds United, it would just be a mint for me, mate. Before I came live, right, KG, I looked for the shirt. I looked for the shirt that you had held, right? I was like, I'm going to put it on and say, listen, I've even got the shirt he was supposed to be wearing. But I actually got it signed, and I thought, I look like a right tit if I sit here with all signatures on my shirt, so I'll leave that one.
Yeah.
But I think if we were to get this done and he was to fulfill his potential, because it's clear he's got potential.
He's got something,
clear. Yeah. I mean, even the Man United situation, it wouldn't surprise me if Giggs got on the phone to Man United because coach, he was at Wales, etc., and saying, "Listen, you need to take this kid." I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, and just on Joe, sorry, just on Northern Gorilla's point about Somerville's progress, I think that's the benefit of getting Dan James in, because just like how Joe said about Huddersfield coming back to us saying, "Okay, we'll take this for O'Brien." Maybe we can then go to another club and say, "Okay, we'll take this for Helder Costa," which then moves him out. It's a two-way system in moving players in and out, especially your fringe players.
Yeah. There is a case for that, because look, we know that Valencia hold an interest in Helder Costa, right? He followed them as well on Instagram, which was proper strange. You can't tell me that's just random out of the blue kind of stuff. Like, why did he do that? Do you know what I mean? Like, why would you do that? I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I'm just looking now and just looking at some of these comments to this Dan James tweet, man, as you can imagine.
The thing is, Joe, I can understand why people think he's no good. I think it's because of how his time at Man United's gone. But you've got to put that in context. He's playing for Man United. The level of pressure there is different to anything else. Yeah. It's different to anything else. Doesn't matter. We're a big team. We put a lot of pressure on our players. Think about Manchester United and where they've been and where they want to get back to. It's a completely different scenario.
Yeah. Let me just make sure people. I'm aware Ryan Giggs is not about now. I'm on about when he was Wales manager, when he was at Swansea, right? I don't think he's like he's plugged a little phone in his Jacksie and he's making calls whilst he's inside, mate. There's no worries about that. Yeah. But what I meant was,
Joe, when I had Rodri, his bro on my channel, it's just so funny how he just don't care that his brother's in trouble. It's just hilarious to me, but you can understand why, obviously.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the Square Ball have tweeted out we should probably sign Dan James just so we can stop being linked with him. And this is the point I was making on the transfer show as well. Until Noah Lang, Ryan Kent, Dan James actually move to another club from their current club, we will always be linked with these players. So at least the one, I guess, shining light, KG, is come the 31st, Dan James isn't going to be a Manchester United player no more. That's for sure. Would you say, or is there a chance he's still there come the end of the window?
No, I don't see it, because if Lingard's still there and Dan James is there, that means they haven't done their jobs in moving people out. They'll have an overbloated squad with so many players not playing. Never mind like Phil Jones and all these other wasters that they've got there. And in regards to what you just said there, I said it earlier that this Dan James thing is turning into the Billy Sharp thing, where we're linked with him forever and then he finally signs with us. It's just so identical to that. We was linked with Billy Sharp for years and years, and then we finally get him. So, yeah, there is something to it. It will be interesting to see who else is in for him, because if he looks, say he does get an offer from us, maybe Everton, say Southampton, if he sees that there's more of a chance of him playing first team football rather than wanting to be coached and be better, he might go to another club as well. So there's always that possibility. So don't get your heart set on this one too much, okay, Joe?
Yeah, no, I'll try not to, mate. I'll try not to. I'm just checking. My man Oscar's just tweeted and said James would be a top signing for us. He can play on both sides, very much a Bielsa style of wide forward, and will absolutely be determined to prove himself. And that's another thing as well, you know. I think there's a lot of, for me, right, and I'll say, when we were linked, and I'm going to mention him again, with Conor Gallagher, with Dan James, with Ryan Kent.
Ding, 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 ding.
No, but the thing is, though, KG, everyone says to me, and I'll go back and get all the comments, people that have changed their mind now because we've been quiet in the window, but it's, nah, we can do better. Have you seen who he plays for? Nah, not a chance. They got relegated. Nah, he's rubbish. No, that's not how this works. Like, we can't do better than Ryan Kent. Or, for me, anyway, who's out there now that's available? I think Kent and James would both be class in this Bielsa system, in this Bielsa side. Of course, there'll be a lot of people who are a lot more clued up about the game that can probably throw out different options now. But I think, you know, it's like with the O'Brien link as well, when people go, no, he plays for Huddersfield, he's rubbish. Yeah, we've got on record our ballers in Calvin Phillips, Tyler Roberts and Ben White going, what a player, what a player, what a player. Do you know what I mean? So I'm hopeful now, mate. My thing is 31st, we're getting O'Brien and we're getting Dan James, man. And then you'd be happy, wouldn't you? Would you be happy?
That's super hopeful from where we currently are now. And in regard, you know, I mentioned Conor Gallagher earlier, Joe, because we was talking about that whole, you know, fans being against this loan thing without any obligation to buy in it. Yeah. I just don't understand it, because right now we've got Paveda out at Blackburn. He got an assist on the weekend. He's getting first team football at a championship club, hoping to get into the first team on a more regular basis at our place. So loans work two ways. We're getting the best of that. And Blackburn, they developed Harvey Elliott really well last year as well. And now
he was fantastic against Chelsea, by the way.
Yeah. He's had a good start to the season. And now he's taken Shaqiri's place, who's been sold for Liverpool. So there's benefits alone. Again, it works two ways. Yeah. And there's no Rads hate. Oh, is there Rads hate in the chat? Probably. I don't know.
Oh, I've not said anything toward Rad Razani. Let me just be on record of saying that, you know. Definitely not. I think you know, someone's just said there, he's like shit off a stick, but in my opinion, technically the worst player in the league. No, there's not a chance that Dan James.
Who's that? Oh, Dan James.
Yeah, nah, I can't have that. Oh, Northern Gorilla says there's some Rads hate in the chat. No, not on that. Right. And a lot of people saying like, who would he come in for, etc. There's not always a case of that. We're not saying like switch out for Harrison, switch out for Rafinha. But remember, guys, this is a 38-game season. We will pick injuries. Now ask yourself the question. Rafinha gets injured in the international break. We come back. You've got Helder Costa. That's it. That's your difference maker. You know? Whereas Dan James offers something different. And that pace genuinely would be great for us. It would, KG, you know, especially balls over the top for him to run into. Of course, as well, people say he's not good. And let's not forget, like, sometimes he can look off the pace in the Manchester United side because he's playing with players that are already 5 passes ahead of him. Yes, that are already 5 moves ahead of him. Exactly. I've seen, you know, Bruno Fernandes get frustrated because he's not made a certain move. And it's like, but Bruno Fernandes is one of the best players in the league. Do you know
he's
what I
mean?
mean?
One of the most effective players in the league for sure.
Yeah. And then you've got, like, James, he's not on that wavelength. And the facts of the matter are, our players are a bit more around Dan James's level, let's be honest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's exactly it. And in terms of, it's not just about sliding somebody into the 11. It's about also looking at when we're 1-0 down. Yeah, Shackleton got an assist today, and that was really good. But we're 1-0 down, and we're bringing on Shackleton. That's our first sub. And if it's not that, it's going to be the Roberts for Rodrigo sub. There's only so many times you can see that and just go, what are we going to get from this now? So it's about bolstering your bench as well. And I think Dan James, listen, he's going from a place where he doesn't even make the bench sometimes. So he'll be happy to get some bench time and get some minutes that way first. And then when Harrison has a lull in form, he can come in for him.
Which he can do. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it as well. As long as Summerfield still gets his minutes also when he finally does, I think it just works. For me, I would take those 4 wingers out of everything that we've got now and hopefully move Costa by the end of the window too.
Yeah, definitely. If we think about obviously potential teams that he's going to move to, obviously in the article, there's mention of Leicester, which if that's a genuine option, I think we're blown out of the water, KG, if I'm being totally honest.
Yeah.
Everton are mentioned. Look, they've got Damari Gray, they've got Townsend. They're trying to save cash at Everton, it would seem. I don't see that being a realistic possibility. Brighton, even Brighton could be a move. Obviously, he's worked with Potter, although it said they've gone pretty cold on him now. But I think the main one for me that I would be worried about is Leicester. Because if given the option, he's going to Leicester. They're playing in Europe.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
Yeah, of course it would be Leicester. I mean, why wouldn't you? And again, he'll improve there because he's working under a genuine coach from Brendan Rodgers too.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
he's not missing anything by going to Leicester. And in all fairness, he'll probably start games because they keep on using that Iosi Perez, who's wasting a spot there. So I think that will be
or Mark Albrighton, innit? Or is it Albrighton?
Reduce Albrighton's minutes too. Yeah. And it's like somebody else in the chat there says Dan James and Costa. I couldn't disagree more because even when you're not getting anything from James, at least he's still going to try for you. He's still going to try and make a run here. He's still going to try and take people on at some point. Costa will just he won't even realize he's on the pitch sometimes.
Yeah.
So and that's the difference for me.
Yeah, exactly. I ran a poll as well before I went live. Do you want to sign Dan James? 73% of the poll have said yes, mate, which I'm quite surprised by, if I'm honest. I'm quite surprised by. What I don't go along with, like I say, a lot of shade will be thrown in the respect because he plays for Manchester United and it's that club. And I know you don't go along with that anyway, but even those that do, he's not really. And let's not forget players like Strachan, for example, who came from Manchester United to captain this side to win us the league. You know, let's not forget that. But what I'm saying, Dan James is available. We're short in that area. Bielsa wants him. He's not really. What I'm saying about him being a Manchester United player, he's only been there a season and a half. Is that right? Or is it 2? 2 seasons?
Probably now, yeah.
Yeah, 2. He's never found it's not found a home for him. He's not liked by their fans. I bet when they seen Dan James today starting, they were like, what's going on?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
You know, we've got Sancho, we've bought Ronaldo, we've got Varane, we've got all these players, and Dan James is still starting. Do you know what I mean? So they'd have been frustrated by that. So we've got a Manchester United fan here. He says, love the content on Dan James. Some days he's brilliant, some days not. Unfortunately, his end product is poor. However, his ability on the counter-attack is brilliant.
And that's where we thrive. When we go forward, that's where we thrive. And if you've noticed in these 3 games so far, Everton not so much, but today at Man United, we weren't really doing that. We were moving forward, but then the final third, it breaks down at the minute. Yeah. It's just not clicking right now.
Yeah, and like our best moves in Burnley's came on the counter today, didn't they?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they came on the counter, and if you've got Dan James as an outlet, then you're going to use him. And this is the thing, man. Bielsa will have a plan for Dan James, and I think that's the thing. I think I guess Bielsa gets a little bit obsessed. I think Phil Hayes on record as saying that he gets a little bit obsessed about players.
Yeah.
And know that in previous we know that Phil said that Bielsa's not been sold on Noah Lang. He wasn't sold on Mateus Cunha when he's been offered when these players have been mentioned in the past. If Victor Orta's got
Cunha's now at Atletico Madrid. So
yeah, it's gone, hasn't it? It's gone. But what I'm saying is, if Bielsa got that call today above that sweet shop, Dan James is available. You know he's going, yes, I'll take him. Yes.
Yes.
Bueno.
Vamos,
Victor. Vamos, Victor. That's what it could have been. So, mate, overall, you want Dan James in the door, right?
if he's the best option that is in
Yeah.
Victor Orta's Rolodex right now, absolutely would take Dan James. But again, I just want to make it clear to people: it's not about just signing players for the sake of signing them.
Yeah.
If the player is average as hell, like, I wouldn't even bother. If we were linked with Sean Longstaff of Newcastle, I'd say no, save the money and play Shackleton in that position, please.
Yeah, no, exactly, and I know a lot of people are not happy about the figures that's been mentioned. But let's be honest, Manchester United, when they're reporting this stuff, they're going to go top heavy. They're not going to say we'll accept 15, we'll accept 10, we'll accept 12, we'll accept X amount plus installments. They're going to go out and say 20. I remember when it was first mentioned and people were telling me they want 50, 60. I'm like, that is never, ever, ever going to happen. Like, I don't know why people think that. I think between 15 to 20 million is probably the going rate, but he hasn't really, I guess, fulfilled his potential at Manchester United, so they're not going to get a big, hefty price for him. I think that like the Manchester United fan, Jamie said, it's worth a punt, especially if it's a decent enough price. And like Kagey's mentioned, there's a difference, with all due respect, between Ole Gunnar Solskjaer on the training pitch and Marcelo Bielsa. Do you know what I mean? Like, Junior Firpo played at Barcelona and said he watched more games or more videos of himself in 2 weeks at Leeds than he'd ever watched before in his entire career.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So Dan James will come in the door. They'll have, like you say, videos of him from when he was a young kid and all sorts, man, and say, this is what you need to do to affect your game. So I'm well for it, mate. And hopefully he does come in the door, because I've gone big on him now as well.
You've gone huge on him, I've got to say. You're trying to recruit him on social media.
I can't even lie. I've slid into his DMs.
Oh, no.
You never know, bro.
Oh.
I've gone big, mate. I've gone big. I'm trying to make it happen. I'm a romantic, you know this, and I just like the story of it. He goes there, he's hated, he's got a crap coach, comes back to Leeds where he should have been in the first place, because we all know that deal. I had people tell me he rejected us. That's not what happened. Let's just get it out there. Swansea did the dirty on us. He was in the door.
Oh no, Joe. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Oh no, Joe, what have you done, says Lee Smith? Is what it is. You never know. If he gives it the old double tap like, then I'm like, yo, it's in.
Well, apparently you're a reporter, aren't you, Joe? So you can report that. Yeah.
Someone had to go. Did you see that?
Man. It's foul. No, the way that you got spoken to, man, it's just, there's just no need for it, and that's another reason I'll tell you. I just can't stand Twitter right now. But yeah, it was ridiculous the way that you were being spoken to, man.
It's like, I was like, mate, I can't help what other people are saying. And he went, well, you need to put them right. And I was like, well, I don't. I'm not going to. Why is it up to me? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really frustrating, but it is what it is. Lee Smith, this will be on. And it won't just be me. It'll be Leeds United journalists, Kagey and Joe say Dan James is on. That's what it'll read tomorrow. Trust me. Yeah, definitely. So we're hopeful that Dan James get in a reasonable price. We don't want to be going in no bidding one. I don't think it will be. Look, if Leicester's an option, he goes there. It's facts. Do you expect any more, KG, before we finish up? Do you think Lewis O'Brien, if the price is right?
Yeah, only if Huddersfield drop their demands. Because obviously with that we have a figure in our head of what we think is worth. And Huddersfield have a figure of what he's valuable to them. They obviously feel he can be a key part in getting them back up, which is worth a lot more than what they'd receive. So if they can find a solution, yes. Yeah, take him. He looks like a good player. Another left footer, by the way, Joe. Like, we're just full of left footers. But we could take him. But am I hopeful? I don't know right now. I gotta say, if nothing happens, it wouldn't surprise me. But I'm hoping that they do pull something out the bag. Again, it's just like seeing today where out of nowhere 3 players are just not playing. Cock, Click, and Firpo. And then we have to do the whole juggling thing again. Hopefully it makes them see that we do need a little bit of help. If they can find the cash down anywhere, I said earlier, maybe we could start a GoFundMe as Leeds fans. I know that this is the one fan base that I know could get 3 million together. Add it to the O'Brien fund and then get him in. But yeah, I mean, it's more hope than anything. We just have to wait and see.
Yeah, no, exactly. And for those that are just like saying sick of the rumours, etc., remember, guys, this has come from The Athletic. This isn't me just making shit up. Do you know what I mean? This isn't me saying, oh, my friend told me that Lewis O'Brien was done, which they did, and it didn't get done, and I made myself look stupid, but it is what it is. There's the article itself. Man United ready to listen to offers for Dan James. It says that, you know, Leeds are opened to a loan move or even a permanent deal for James. I think maybe, look, they're saying in that James might have worries possibly that if it was a loan, I can understand him going back to Man United. Would they want him back, etc., all that stuff. I get it. So Leeds are even saying maybe, look, we'll even take him on permanent if you need it now. He's valued in excess of 20 million by United. Whether or not they'll get that, that's a totally different story. Brighton have previously been linked with him, but that interest is cooled. There's also interest from Everton, Leicester and Palace. Obviously, Manchester United want to let him go because they've got plenty of players in them positions. And also Jesse Lingard looks like he might move on as well. For those that are saying The Athletic is rubbish, I don't know. I think that's pretty solid information, don't you, KG?
Yeah, sometimes hit and miss, aren't they? Like,
yeah.
It depends who's reporting, in all fairness, because I've seen some where they say a player isn't moving to a club. Next day, that player is at the club. I've literally seen it for other teams. So it depends who's reporting. Like, I trust Phil Hay. Obviously, if Phil Hay co-signs it, I'll trust Phil.
Yeah. The fact that he's dropped it, the retweet, you know what I mean? It gives it the sign of approval, doesn't it?
Fair enough.
Louis Bennell says, you can have him. Seriously, I like him, but we don't need him. That's from a Manchester United fan. She's clear you don't need him, but you do like him. I wonder if Louis was one of them guys that was burning effigies of Ronaldo when he was going to go to City, and now he's got him as his his icon on YouTube. But yeah, look, fingers crossed, KG, we can get this done. Let's me move on from Conor Gallagher and just go big on Dan James now, mate. You know what I mean? Although it sounds like your Cooper Miners is my Conor Gallagher, to be fair.
Yeah. I guess it sounds like it, but he's gone now, Champions League and everything. But it's just the price. I honestly cannot believe the price that Cooper Miners has gone for. It's so cheap. And when you think about how many Premier League teams are after like a DM and central midfielder who can play box to box, he'd have been perfect. But you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, thank you so much for coming on, KG. Absolute pleasure, mate, to have you as always. Guys, make sure you check out kgvision. I didn't expect him to come live, so I've not put his link in the chat. But what I'm going to do, right, while we're live now, I'm going to do it now, right? So all you guys that are watching, bear with me one sec, KG. Just go onto your YouTube page, click that, and then let's go to studio. We're just going to make a little switch up in the description to this video, guys. Those that are watching, please do just drop now to the description. I'm gonna
actually while you do it now, someone called Vavi's got a good question. Did you slide into Conor Gallagher's DMs? If you've done it for Dan James, you must have done it for Gallagher.
I didn't, man. I didn't. But I was thinking, I was going to say to you, I wonder if that's why Conor Gallagher in the end decided not to come, because he was like, I've got this random guy messaging me all the time. But listen, you never know, right? I know a guy on Instagram. Lucas talks to me all the time. He's so downbeat at the minute, but he is always flying messages into people's DMs and does get responses. We know what the guys that focus on Leeds are like. I can imagine the guys that focus on Leeds now are already speaking to Dan James' mum, his brother, and his agent. You know what I mean? They're mad on it. So I thought I'd give it a try. Obviously, he's not going to respond, but you never know. What if I get you get the double like, and then it's all.
He might have had a drink tonight, and he's like, "Oh, yeah." You just never know.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Yeah, you never know. I'll keep checking, mate. I'll keep you posted. But guys, KG Vision's link is now in the description, so please make sure you go check out his channel. continuing to grow, always going to be popping on as well. Thank you for being here as always, KG. Have you got anything planned, mate, over the next couple of days? I know you've been doing stuff with Bradley Johnson.
Yeah, man. Last video that I had on there is obviously the match reaction for today. That was a great chat with the people in the live chat. So if people want to check that out, check that out. I do have a video with Bradley Johnson where we just talked about miscellaneous football things, which was, some things that I like to ask, which is great. When you have non-formulaic questions. So that was a good watch as well. Even got something about Bradley Johnson putting 30-yarders into the stands. And obviously, I think deadline day, I'll be doing a stream as well, just to wrap up what we have or haven't done over the deadline day.
What we have, fingers crossed. What we have, Dan James in the door. No Swansea or Hugh Jenkins to mess it up this time. Man United.
And listen, thanks for the love in the chat, man. It's been a good chat, man. Thank you guys.
Yeah, it's really good and great to see so many people at midnight and late at night. Maybe I need to change my stream times to late night streams to get better viewers, man. But now, listen, everyone, thank you so much. Listen, I've got the final word dropping in the morning at 6 a.m. So that's just my response to today's fixture against Burnley. I'll be straight with you. It's a tough watch. It was tough doing it. I can't lie. And I was whinging about the window as well in it because that's what it is. It's the window is sort of a mirror image of what's being played out on the pitch at the minute. It's just not good enough. Paul Calvin on his own in there. Elland, I don't know. Just quickly, mate. Thoughts on Elland? I thought he was better at right centre-back than he played at right wing-back. He just doesn't seem to have that same intensity this season. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I mean, well, very quickly, somebody mentioned this on the live today, and it got me thinking that maybe Drama isn't that far away from the first team when we think, because Drama has looked really good. I know it's under 23s, but even in the step up now in the next level of 23s, he's looked even better. So maybe he's closer to the first team than we actually know.
Yeah,
it occurred to me that Ayling hasn't been the same. I know he scored that good goal against Man United. Can't take that away from him. But I know what people are saying. I can see that it hasn't been the same Luke Ayling that we had last year. But what we also have to remember as well and that's why you need to replace people. Not replace Ayling. I'm not saying that, by the way. That's how you move people on, because he's been doing this 100-mile-per-hour training for the last 3-4 years. And he's just touched 30 now. Sometimes you're going to get these lulls, and maybe this is Luke Ayling's lull, just like Mateusz Klich had one last year. But I know what people are saying with Ayling. Just hopefully we just reset and go against Liverpool. It's a big game, and I know that these players will get themselves up for it. So let's see what happens after that game.
Yeah, and I know the club doesn't make signings to boost the fan base. That's not what signings are for. They're to boost the squad. But I think the way everyone is at the moment, look, my video was titled "It's All a Little Bit Meh," and that's what it feels at the minute. It's like, meh. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like the season we're not in any danger whatsoever for me personally, but I just feel it'll be a bit meh, and we'll go on losing runs. We might win a couple, etc. But we want better than that. And after the end of last season, you're looking at, I think, a few bodies, and we can go again here. But so hopefully get some in the door, excitement builds, play Liverpool. And then we're well up for that. I mean, we could get spanked. It is what it is. But
and Joe, it's just like the thing I always say to people, because it's always the people that say I'd be happy finishing 15th, 16th, but then expecting Calvin Phillips and Rafinha to stay next season. That's not happening. So we need to do as well as possible in order to keep these players and build on that. Otherwise, I mean, those guys will probably be going. Their stocks are so high. Calvin Phillips' stock is sky high. He should be playing in the Champions League right now.
Every man and his dog's talking about him. Players,
and Rafinha, and Rafinha, both of them. So if we're finishing 14th, you got those people that say, that's another year in the Prem. And then as soon as those two are sold, they say, we've lost Rafinha and Calvin Phillips. They want it all their own way in it, like it's Burger King. Like, you just can't have it all your own way. So just keep that in mind, people.
Yeah, it is a fact, mate. It is a fact that you can't play as well as you did for England, get all the way to the Euros, and then when a Champions League club comes that want to pay you 50, 60, 70, 80 million for one of your top players, and you know, they want to play Champions League football. You can't stand in these lads' way.
Or even any kind of European football, because I made the point about Declan Rice as well. West Ham have kept him mainly because they're in Europe, man, and they're progressing.
Oh, they would have never kept him, would they, if they wanted to go to Europe?
They're making signings that are progressing now. You know, they've just signed Kurt Zuma.
Yeah.
You know, Ben Rama is now coming into this year, and he's on fire. So, and that's how you keep those kind of players. That's how you say to Declan, you know what, I know Chelsea want you, I know this and that want you, but look, we're in Europe. Give us this campaign. If we don't have that, we've got no bargaining chips. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. Nah, you bang on, mate. You bang on, and that's what it's about. It's like even the Calvin situation when we didn't go up the first season. We said, look, just give us one more try. We're going to do this. We're going to, you know, buy these players in. Bielsa's going to state, right, okay, one more try. And then he'd have moved on and, he's Leeds through and through, yada, yada. But listen, if there, like you said, there is no bargaining chip, and City come knocking or Liverpool come knocking for a Henderson replacement, you know, then he can't turn that down, guys.
Yeah. Just think about that. If Liverpool ever did have the cash, Jordan Henderson out, Calvin Phillips in, it's easy to do. Very, very easy to do.
This is what I'm saying. And, you know, this is the debate me and a lad were having on Twitter who was going, yeah, but he went to that club. You could never go to that club. And it was like, hang on, take a step back. The Leeds move fell through. A season later, he's been offered to go to a club that's competing in the Champions League. That's one of the biggest clubs, not just in England, but in world football. I know we dislike them, but it's true. Dan James isn't going to go, my dad was a Leeds fan. I can't go there. Come on. You have to be real sometimes. So it is what it is. He made that move. He's been surplus to requirements for a while, if we're being honest. Now they've got the bodies in. He'll come to Leeds United, fingers crossed. Holy Ghost says 11th hour signing. Keep up the good work, bro. Well, listen, it's going to be the 30th soon, so that means we'll have 24 hours soon enough before.
I got to say, Harmony's been on fire in this stream.
Yeah, she's
Jane's gone to Sutton United for £1. She ain't feeling this one at all. I love that.
No, she's not. No, she said I'd rather have Jamie O'Hara, I think, at one point, something like that. Yeah, there. Look, I've seen that. I've seen you, Harmony. I've seen, mate. She was after the Burnley and Leeds. She wanted them fighting earlier on. She's been feisty today, as Harmony. To be fair to her, but she's a legend. She's always in the chat. I think we'll leave it there, bro. I think we'll leave it there. We've nearly done an hour, eh?
Yeah, man. Look at it. It went by quickly.
Yeah,
man.
You wouldn't think, could you? You wouldn't think. Yeah, can't see a link to Kagey's channel. It's definitely there, people. I'll tell you what I'm going to do then here. Look, I'll put it in here. 1 sec. It's definitely there because I've just done it. kgvision YouTube channel. There you go. All right, let me just go on the video itself. Wait there. And I'll put it in the actual chat for you. 1 sec. There we go. There it is. You should be able to just click straight on that. If I click straight on that, it takes me to kgvision's channel. Yeah, there you go. So click that link that is in the description. Not only is it in the description, it is also in the chat. There you go. So click that. Link is there. See, link is there. So don't try to do me dirty, Northern Gorilla, getting me in trouble with Kagey. You know what I mean? But no. Make sure you go over. Let's get into 2K ASAP. Thank you for being here, Kagey.
No problem, man. Pleasure,
nice
John.
We'll leave it there. Maybe we'll do something on transfer deadline day if something happens, but we'll leave it there. Oh, Matt Sweeby, just to leave us out, says enjoyed it tonight. Thanks, lad. Thank you for being here, mate. You're a legend. Thank you all for being here. Hopefully we get Dan James done and we'll see you both soon. Or me and Kagey will see you all soon. Yeah, that's what I meant to say.